guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you my coconut tres leches cake. It is so good. If you love a traditional tres leches cake and you love coconut, then this is absolutely right up your alley. It's just tweaking my traditional tres leches cake a little tiny bit to give it like a really amazing, like island, I don't know, kind of flavor to it. It is perfection. Let me take over the ingredients so we can get started. You'll need some cake flour, baking powder, and salt. I have eggs that I have separated into yolks and whites, granulated sugar, a little bit of coconut extract. I've got some whole coconut milk, unsalted butter that's been softened to room temperature, and that is it. I'll show you in a little bit the actual milk mixture and the whipped cream topping, but for now, this is all you're gonna need. Get your oven preheated at 350. Get a 13 by 9 inch baking pan ready with some parchment paper and spray it with a little bit of nonstick spray. That just ensures that nothing sticks. And I'm going to make mine in my standing mixer that I have fitted with a pedal attachment, and it could not be easier. The first thing we're going to do is cream together the butter. It's really nice and soft at room temperature, which is perfect for when you're trying to do something like this, when you're trying to cream it. I'm going to do the butter and the sugar, and I'm going to let these cream for a couple of minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to take my egg whites and I'm going to just whisk them with a hand electric whisk until they're stiff peaks. So I'm going to let that go, work on my egg whites, and then I'll meet you back to kind of proceed with the cake recipe. Okay, I just want to give this a little bit of a scrape with my spatula. And now I'm going to add, oh, get off of there. Now I'm going to add my egg yolks and then just a splash of coconut extract. Make sure you measure it because any other extract except for vanilla is incredibly strong and it will be completely overpowering. Now the coconut extract is actually quite optional. You can have just the natural flavor of the coconut coming through the coconut milk, but I like to just kick things up a notch by adding a little bit of coconut extract to really drive home that coconut flavor. And I'm just going to let these mix until they're kind of incorporated and combined, and then we'll pretty much add everything else. Perfect. Now I'm going to make things really easy on myself by adding my dry ingredients right along with my coconut milk. No need to really do it in any particular other, in any other step, because everything just needs to go in and get mixed up. And this is whole coconut milk. Just make sure you shake the can really well and then give it a good mix until combined. Get this all off. Ugh. Make sure you scrape it off the beater because you want it in your belly. You don't want to leave it behind, but this is just looking glorious already. It smells amazing, very lovely and coconutty. Give it a good mix. And then what I like to do, just to kind of loosen up the batter a little bit, I'm going to add just a little bit of the egg whites that I have, that I've got here that I whipped up. And you can mix this in just to kind of loosen it, and then I'll fold everything else in. But I'm not really doing this in any particular way. I just want to loosen it up, and now this is much easier for me to fold in the rest of my egg whites without deflating them. So add them in, and then I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but I'll show you. When you go ahead and fold in egg whites, or you fold in anything, you kind of start from the center with your spatula and flip it over like that. Okay, this is perfect. I'm going to pour this into my prepared pan. Try and get it all out of there if you can. You don't want to leave anything behind. And then you just try and get it as smooth as possible. Oh, this batter is just perfection, and it smells so good. You don't even know how good this smells. Okay, just trying to get this nice and even. You don't want thicker pieces in some areas and thinner pieces in other areas. And you can see that I've got the parchment paper kind of coming up the sides. You really don't need to do that because, to be very honest with you, it's really kind of best to serve this cake in the actual baking tin so that all the milk mixture kind of seeps in there, but I don't really care. I'll leave the parchment on. I'm going to pop this in the oven at 350. It'll be in there for about 25 to 30 minutes or until it's fully cooked through. I'm just going to even out this little piece before it drives me nuts. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. It's going to be phenomenal. My cake baked for exactly 30 minutes, and what I want you to know is that when you first take it out of the oven, it's quite nice and puffy, but then it will deflate. And I've let it cool for about 20 minutes, and it's crucial that you don't let the cake cool completely. Otherwise, it's not going to absorb the milk mixture the way it needs to. So what I want you to do now is you just take your fork and you just kind of prick all over, kind of stab the cake all over, because the milk needs just a way to absorb. Now, I am going to serve mine straight out of my baking pan because I get down like that. My friends know me for that, but also because really, unless you have a platter with really high sides that the milk mixture won't kind of run out everywhere, serving it in a baking pan is the easiest way to go. I should have probably thought a little more about it and used my glass baking dish so it looked a little bit nicer, but when you serve this, nobody will know where you served it out of, you know. Okay, perfect. Let's work on the milk mixture. What I have here is sweetened condensed milk, evaporated milk, and some leftover whole coconut milk. So I'm going to add all three into a large measuring cup, but you could just use a bowl, of course. You could, if you wanted to, use a little more coconut extract. I'm not going to because I use coconut extract in the actual cake itself, and I don't want it to be overpowering, and I do plan on serving it with some toasted coconut on top. So this is fine for me, but you can do it anything you like. And you know, sweetened coconut milk is just if I had to have a guilty pleasure, it would probably be sweetened coconut milk. I can eat it right out of the can and often have. And you just stay away. Give everything a really good whisk because you want to make sure all three of the different milk mixtures are really well combined. Okay, perfect. I'm going to just take a small ladle and then just patiently start just covering the entire cake with the milk mixture. Now, some people are going to ask, what? I don't get what you're doing. It's going to be really soggy. Well, that's the whole point of this cake. It's going to get soggy. It's going to be really wet, but that is just the texture of a tres leches cake. Okay, now this looks kind of insane. You're like, what? Let the magic of time do its thing. Set it aside for like 45 minutes or so, or however long it takes. It'll take a good 45 minutes for all the milk to be completely absorbed into the warm cake. And you want this to be completely cooled, and then you pop it in the fridge just to keep it nice and chilled, and then we'll get ready to serve it. I am gonna make a sweetened whipped cream to go over top because that's just how I roll. And then when we're ready for that, I'll show you the next step. The cake has been sitting and soaking for about 45 minutes, and as you can see, it's making my mouth water. It smells so amazingly coconutty and sweet and delicious. The top is kind of like soaked up that juicy, delicious milk mixture ever so beautifully. I am just thrilled. I cannot wait to get a bite into this. I have some whipped cream that I whipped up myself with just a little tiny bit of powdered sugar. Really not a whole lot because everything is so sweet, but I like a little bit of whipped cream with my tres leches cake. And then I just like to kind of smear it all over the top. And then, optional, yes, but I did toast up some shredded coconut, and I'm going to top this with it because, okay, so much for a small layer of whipped cream because homegirl went a little whipped cream happy today, but it's okay. And then toasted coconut. You don't have to toast it if you don't want to. I just quite like the texture and I like the color. You know, good balance all around. And then you must, of course, serve it with a maraschino cherry when you go ahead and serve it. Well, you don't have to, but I do. When I serve it, I'm not going to do this right now because I'm incredibly impatient and I need to take a bite like yesterday. Right now. Like right now. I'm going to get a bite into this. I'm going to just take this corner over here. Oh, it's going to be fabulous. I just know it. Okay. Let's see if I can get this out in one piece. Can I? Yes. Oh, yes, I can. Maybe. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, that is perfect. That is glorious. Let me push some of the whipped cream back so that I can give you a fair shot. Oh, it soaked it up so perfectly. I can't even look at that. It's really lovely and moist and gorgeous. This makes me so happy. Probably way happier than it should, but It is so phenomenal. You will love this. You really, really will. Go to laurainthekitchen.com. Give the classic a nice little easy but delicious spin. It is to die for. To die for. The recipe will be waiting for you if you recreate it. Don't forget to share a recipe on social media. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. I'll see you soon. Bye.